Welcome to Homefront Sitrep. I hope you're in for a great show today, because I'm just a veteran talking about what's on my mind and maybe yours.
You can find Homefront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you find your favorite podcasts. You can also check out Homefront Sitrep's YouTube channel.
Buckle up, the show is starting.
Out on the edge of the battle and back, we've carried the weight and we've walked every track. From desert dust to the fire at home, we've learned how to fight, how to stand alone. But no one tells you what comes after the war. When silence is louder than the guns we bore, that's where we speak, that's where we heal. Stories too real for Hollywood reels. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the Homefront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the Homefront Sitrep podcast. For the fallen, the fighting, and those who came home. For the brothers and sisters who still feel alone. We're holding the line with truth and respect. This is the Homefront Sitrep podcast. It ain't all medals and waving flags. There's pain in the silence and weight in the bags. But we've got a mic and a mission to share, to tell the damn truth, cause somebody's gotta care. We laugh, we cry, we cuss, we pray. We honor the ones who ain't here today. From basic to battle and back to the block, this is our rhythm of round table talk. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, when warriors to battle just differently. This is our check-in, our voice, our step. This is the Homefront Sitrep podcast. Still heavy in dreams out of reach, for the lessons the textbooks could never teach. We're sounding off, no filter, no prep. This is the Homefront Sitrep podcast. So if you're born the boots or love someone who did, if you swallowed your hurt and kept it all hid, pull up a chair, you're not alone. Welcome to the front lines you don't always see, where courage meets scars and raw honesty. This is our anthem, our truth intercept. This is the Homefront Sitrep podcast. For the ones still standing and those we've lost yet, for every single story we'll never forget. We speak so others won't forget. This is the Homefront Sitrep podcast. Real talk, real vets, real life. Homefront Sitrep podcast, where the mission continues.
Welcome everybody to a Monday edition of Homefront Sitrep. How is everybody doing? Gunny, how are you, sir?
Rested, man. Rested. Now, yeah, man, did the nothing today. Took Dimitri to the airport this morning to catch his flight back to Arizona. He came in for the weekend, helped the team out, helped the drop zone out. Stayed the night and took him to the airport. I came back here and did absolutely nothing. Rested up, took a day, and then, ate some dinner, jumped on here, and then I'll probably rest tomorrow too. And then, we got our tip of the spear on Wednesday. Then I'll probably do nothing on Thursday. And then I've got to jump on Friday for Kentucky Veterans Hall of Fame. But yeah,
you're gonna be a busy guy.
It's much needed, for sure. After all the travel last month, or I guess earlier this month, and then back into, June into May. But Warrior Weekend coming up, I won't get any rest during that really. And then, we run back right into jump schedule, and I take off fishing, and just a bunch of stuff, right? So, always gone, always going. And I do need to wish a very happy anniversary to my mom and my stepdad. They've been married, I think, 35 years today. So
heck yeah, happy anniversary. Yeah, no, man, today I went to work this morning, woke up and walked out the door at 06 and started sweating from the minute as soon as I walked out. Like, I opened up the garage door from my house going into the garage, and bro, I started sweating. I wasn't even out in the thick of the thing. And then I walked out to my truck and I was like, oh my God. And so I get to work, and then I try to do my hard jobs first because in the morning it's not as hot.
Yeah.
But I tell you, when I'm just,
Until recently,
yeah,
dude,
yeah.
our humidity within the past few weeks has been absolutely friggin' stupid.
Oh,
From sun up to sundown, it has
yeah.
been ridiculous.
I think we got a couple cool days coming up. I think this rain that's coming in, hopefully it's going to cool it down. I'm hoping, but we'll see. I want to give a shout out to Mr. CIA Bob. He's in the house right now. Then 06 Reveille, man. If you haven't got any of the apparel from 06 Reveille, this hat is very, very comfortable. I love it. There's gunnies, and I'm wearing this shirt, 06 Reveille there. So it just came in the mail today. I got mine and Jarrett's in the mail today. So I'm super excited to, give Jarrett his shirt and hat as well. But yeah, man, another Marine doing awesome things.
Yeah, absolutely.
Franco is amazing. So go check out 06 Reveille if you haven't yet. You go check them out. Go order a hat. Go order a shirt. We all have that military mindset. Get up early in the morning, get things done. It's like an early bird gets the worm kind of thing, right?
Man, not anymore. If I don't have anything going on, I let my body rest.
Yeah, well, yeah, you have.
I don't force it anymore. Sometimes the wife forces it, but I don't force it anymore. I can't afford. I mean, I can, but I can't to be laying in the hospital bed, right?
Yeah,
for just putting my body through everything I put my body through. So, right. When I have that opportunity to rest, I rest.
Yeah. Well, so Monday through Friday, which is my work days, 06, or I'm usually up at 05:45, out the door by usually anywhere between 06 to 06:10. And then I'm at work at 06:45, start my shift at 7. And then if we're not on overtime, which we haven't been on overtime, or forced overtime, I get home, usually around 3:30, about 3:45, 4 o'clock. And then this week we're actually on forced overtime this week. So I got 12 hours of overtime. So tomorrow I'll be working till dark time, just try to make up, some hours, because Wednesday we got the tip of the spear. So I'm going to work maybe 1 or 2 hours on Wednesday of overtime, then come home, get set up for the podcast. Thursday, Friday, work some overtime. Hopefully I don't have to go in on Saturday because I need to get my ears lowered. Need to get a haircut. It's already too long for me. The wife's like, wait another week. I'm like, no, I got to get a haircut. But
yeah, man, I've been waiting. I've been pushing it. I don't have anything, and it's starting to touch my ears. And I was like, oh, it's so freaking bothering me so bad.
Yes.
And I wanted to get a haircut. And I was like, you know what? I'm rolling into Warrior Weekend next week. I'll wait another week. And then, of course, the beard's going all freaking crazy. I mean, I told you it wouldn't take long before this thing's back in full swing. So that's going to get, a nice block job and trimmed up and everything for Warrior Weekend. And, but before we bring our guest in, there's been a lot of guys and girls getting scammed on the Team Fast Tracks bottle, whether it's on, my post or other people's posts. There's a lot of scammers out there, wanting you to send money to their WhatsApp account. Don't do it. The only place right now that you can get the Team Fast Tracks bottle is at J Mattingly, period. In the store, in the gift shop at J Mattingly. That's the only place you can get it. If you want a bottle and you live near me, around me, or coming in for Warrior Weekend and want a bottle, call J Mattingly, order your bottle, tell them to hold it, and I'll pick it up for you on the 2nd. And then I'll bring it to Warrior Weekend for you. But please do not, answer any of those WhatsApp or whatever. We've already had a couple people that got scammed, and unfortunately, we have to talk about it and put a post out about it and everything else. So,
yeah, I seen your post earlier today. Yeah, it's like I got an email from somebody. I don't even know, John Smith. It's some weirdo name like that, John Smith. They're like, I inherited $2,972,000 and I want to give it to you. And I'm like, who are you? But I didn't respond. That's just what I was thinking in my head. I'm like, I'm not going to respond. I'm not even going to dignify that with a response.
Well, it was like that, a few years back, it was that prince that, had money and he wanted to give it to money, but you had to send him money first. And it's like, come on now.
Yeah. That Nigerian.
You put the word ticket in a post, and all of a sudden all these other people have tickets to sell for whatever raffle, right? Or if you put bourbon sale or bourbon in the post, hey, I can get you this bottle, and then it's for cheaper. The price is the price. If somebody wants to give it to you cheaper, they're losing money, period.
Right.
And then give you a second bottle for 3/4 of what that first bottle cost. Come on now, you use your brain. Yeah. Common sense, man. Common sense.
That's scam right there. So our guest tonight, let's talk about our guest tonight, because I'm super excited about this one, because Adam Bird, once again from Heroes Media Group, sent us another great person to have on the show. Adam has known this person for a really long time, and I went and looked at Instagram, looked at his Facebook page, went to his website and seen the metalwork that he does. And once he comes up, you'll see one of his metalwork flags in the background. He's got all kinds of cool things that he does with welding and fabricating. He was a Marine. He served from 99 to 2003. He's the founder of Prospect Hill Flag Company. He's also been involved with 22 Kill and Defenders of Freedom. He also helped found Throttle Therapy, which is, so I love riding motorcycles. There's nothing like getting on a motorcycle and driving and getting that wind therapy on a motorcycle. So Throttle Therapy is something that I really can't wait till I turn 50, because here's the thing. The wife and I in 2005, when we got married, I was like, I'm gonna go buy a motorcycle. She says, no, you're not. I'm like, yeah, I am. She goes, no, you're not. We're not getting married if you go buy one. She said, but I'll make you a deal. She said, when you turn 50, you can get a motorcycle. I was like, all right, bet. Because I love my wife. I said bet, and sure enough, I've waited. I'm 47. I'm getting there. She thinks that this.
You forgot.
She thinks I forget. But I did find a loophole. My buddy Jason had a Nomad in his garage, sat there for 2 years. He never rode it, never did anything with it. And I was like, bro, what are you doing with that motorcycle? He goes, nothing, man. He goes, you want to take it? I was like, yeah. So I got on it, drove it home, and the wife got really mad. I said, I didn't buy it. That was the deal. So I didn't. But anyway, I was riding it so he could sell it. I was showing it off so people could see it and get it back into good working shape. Which it was a nice motorcycle. It was just I had to push it out of my driveway and then down the street just a little bit, so I didn't wake the neighbors up and pick them off.
Yeah.
But hey, it is what it is. So
yep, they'll get over it.
So yeah, you ready to bring our guest up?
Absolutely.
Let's do it. Let's see, where's my mouse at? There it is. And let's put him in the big box.
Uh-oh. What's up, guys? How are you?
How are you, sir?
I'm real good, man. And I was telling these guys earlier, I'm slammed right now. Like, I'm getting ready for Sturgis, leaving for Sturgis on Thursday, finishing up another Marines. He just got his doctorate and opened a wellness clinic and counseling clinic in Grapevine. I'm finishing his sign up. Is the last thing I'm doing before I get at least one day to kind of just chill, get my hair cut, get my beard trimmed and everything before I head to Sturgis on Thursday. And we got leave Thursday, get there Friday. Next Wednesday, I'm involved with a big art show with Harley Davidson, girl named Sassy Pants, real big in the motorcycle community, and a couple of other people in Deadwood Square. So I have bunch of my artwork out there featured, which is pretty rad. It's only the second show I've ever done. So
Heck yeah.
Super stoked about that. See what happens with it.
Yeah, it's
Well-
definitely a great place to have some of your stuff on display and for you there to talk about it too, for sure.
Heck yeah.
This is my 7th year going, and you mentioned throttle therapy, and we'll talk about all that stuff here in a minute. But like, I've always gone with agenda, and then last year was the first time I went with no agenda. I had just gotten attacked by a dog, so I could barely use my hands, and like so clutching and braking was a nightmare. I rode probably where normally when we go up there we'll ride like 2,000-3,000 miles in a week, probably 500 miles max.
Oh, man.
Because I couldn't work my controls. Hung out with some good friends of mine from Arizona that were up there, and then that was it. And it was no agenda. It was nothing to do. So like this is the 2nd year. My wife's finally coming back with me. She hasn't been there in a couple years, and we're just gonna chill. We're gonna chill, ride around, do our thing, and then Wednesday we have a show. And that's it.
Heck yeah.
So it's gonna be pretty rad. Looking forward to this one.
Heck yeah. Well, do me a favor. Introduce yourself. I know we kind of just jumped right in, but introduce yourself if you don't mind.
My name's Joe Stazione. Like you said, I'm the owner operator of Prospect Hill Flag Company. I was with 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines, and security forces.
Heck yeah.
I was 99 to 03, went in during peacetime. Guy that I worked with my dad in construction, he was a Marine. He's like, go to college, become an officer, do that. I was like, nope. I said, I want to go the hard way. And man, did I. Back then, like you guys, Paris Island, you mentioned you were in, you guys met in Paris Island. I was PI, 2nd platoon. So that whole thing in the summer, July 26th, actually, 2 days ago, I left for boot camp.
Oof.
99. And then School of Infantry, Camp Geiger, Camp Lejeune. Went to Security Force Battalion in Chesapeake, Virginia.
Yep.
Did my training and all that stuff. Went to Kings Bay, Georgia. I was on. I was a Lance Corporal, team leader. I was standing in an alarm control center post on 9/11 when the towers came down. So I was the guy they called upgrade threat count, upgrade threat count, upgrade threat count. Shit hit the fan down there. We were locked down for a month. Was not stop lost, but in that time frame, they were looking for more Marines to go Secret Service, and I got picked out of Kings Bay. Did all the paperwork, whole packet. They came down, interviewed us, the whole 9 yards, and they ended up taking 84 guys out of school. And I got extended in Kings Bay for 3 months, which if I would have left originally, I would have been 1-6. I would have been in the invasion, but I was extended an extra 3 months. I went to 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines. Checked in like 4 hours late for the deployment to Kabul. So I checked in a lot. Me and my buddy were like, fuck it, man. You guys swear on this podcast? I don't know.
We got to keep it to a minimum for a Reach Across America.
Okay, my bad. So we're like, screw it. We got there the night before, and we're like, man, we're gonna check in as late as we can. Let's just see what's around. We haven't been here since SOI. So we checked in at 5 o'clock, and they left like 5 hours prior to that. And I ended up as a platoon commander for 3rd Battalion, 8th Marines, 2nd Platoon, India Company, and as a corporal, picked up sergeant right before we left for Okinawa. Everybody was in Kabul. They came back when we were doing. They came back probably like 2 months before we deployed to Japan, and we were getting ready to do our McCree for that deployment. And I had orders to go play rugby for the Marine Corps. I had Commandant signed orders. So I had just met all these guys that got back from Kabul that have been Fleet Marines for 2.5 years now. So I was absolute pond scum as a corporal.
Yeah.
And then I'm hightailing out to go play rugby, right? They were less than happy with me. But everything worked out. We all got along. 2nd Platoon, we were the dirty birds. We were absolute trash in garrison, which was weird for me because I came from security forces where it was like JOB and wall locker inspections every couple weeks.
Man, we say that all the time. We'd get guys from security force and be like, oh, Here come the inspection standards. Don't not know
Oh, yeah.
no nothing about the damn job, but they can stand in inspection and shine boots
Knew
and press a
nothing.
uniform.
Knew absolutely nothing about being a grunt, dude. I knew nothing about we would do 2-week ops and we go down to Blanding, Georgia. It was half-ass, but I knew nothing going to the fleet. Played rugby, came back, got picked up sergeant right before we left, and I liked my junior guys, and because like playing rugby for the Marine Corps taught me a lot of things, but it also taught me that like everybody's just a man. Because when I played in Kings Bay, we played with like commanders and people in the Navy and stuff like that, and we'd all just hang out afterwards, drink beers, punch each other in the face, and go on about our business. And when I got to 3-8, a lot of before the guys came back from Kabul, a lot of the guys over there, they thought it was cool. Like, you're a rugby player? Wait a minute. Well, I didn't even know we had a team. It was like, yeah, like it's pretty cool sport. Come on out. And all the junior guys in my platoon ended up playing, and we played in Singapore, Malaysia, and Thailand. We ended up playing against the Singapore Navy and their national team. We lost by 7 points to their national team with a team we've never played before. So it was pretty rad. I got to play all over the world with base teams and stuff like that. Played 2 weeks with the All Marine team, which was really, really cool experience. I was stop lost. War kicked off. We were in Japan 2 months, 3 months. We headed over to Fuji. We got to Fuji late, and we watched the beginning of the war on CNN in the barracks. They were no hope to deploy. We got stop loss. We were supposed to be back in Lejeune in June, and we ended up getting back in October. I remember I was on a boat, and my lieutenant came in because we did jungle warfare training and all that stuff in the jungle. Then we went to the Philippines, and then we went to Fuji. And then when we got back and we were stop lost, we ended up getting on LF Carrot and did like Malaysia, Thailand, and Singapore. And we were allowed off the boat the most in Singapore. And it was a trip. It was a life experience. I'll keep that. You guys can understand.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Reach
I'm already
across
picturing.
America.
Yeah.
Reach across America. All right. So I got stop lost. I'm on the boat. We're sitting there. They're getting off in Malaysia. And my lieutenant knocks on the door. He comes in. He goes, "What are you doing?" He goes, "You got to get up on a flight deck, get your weapon." I looked at my watch. I was in PT shorts, no shirt, sitting on a bed watching a movie. I looked at my watch. I said, "IEAS in 2 days." Like, you guys screwed me over because I was also going through a divorce at this time. I found out my wife was cheating on me, the whole normal Marine Corps sob story. So I was trying to take care of stuff because I had every intention of getting out. But then the war kicked off. A bunch of us talked about lat moving, doing some different things. But then they screwed me. Like, they put me through every school. Combat, it was
Combat lifesavers.
Yeah, I did that. The combat lifesaver, the black belt instructor. They offered me jump school, they Humvee school, all these different schools to stay in and do all this stuff. But they kept throwing stuff at me, and all I wanted to do was go and handle my divorce, right? So I was like, IEAS in 2 days. I was like, "Get bent." And he goes to the door and left me in there from Malaysia. So we get back. We end up back at Lejeune, get out October 10th of 2003. Drive to Arizona. Drove to Cleveland, drove to Arizona. My dad and my mom moved like 3 days after I left for boot camp, and my sister and brother. So went out to Arizona, had this big elaborate plan. I was going to go to school. I had emails from the Arizona State rugby coach. I had a good resume. I played all over. Was going to live in a dorms, all this different stuff. I made it 3 weeks. I made it 3 weeks living at my parents' house because I was like, look, I just need to make it until I get figured out what I'm going to do for college. Well, man, that first weekend was like Halloween weekend or something. I had a kid that I got out with, lived in El Paso, came in, played rugby that next day on Saturday, and I show up home. I come back home, half in a bag from the drink up, getting ready to go to another party in a kilt, nothing but a kilt. And my mom lost her mind. So I moved out real quick and had to get a job. So pumped concrete from 2003 till 2007, I think. I pumped concrete. I went back to that a few times. I was a carpenter. I was a laborer. I was a forklift operator. I worked in a gym. I worked in a mortgage company. I bounced a lot for at different bars and stuff like that all over Phoenix. And I couldn't figure out what the hell I wanted to do. But back then, like when everybody got out, and when did you guys get out? You guys got out.
So 01 the first time, then I got recalled back in, got back out in 04.
So back then, like there was nothing. Nobody knew.
There was nothing. Yeah.
Nobody knew. Like I didn't know. I didn't know I rated the VA. I got out in 2003. I didn't know I rated the VA until 2015. Nobody told me. When Obama made healthcare mandatory, people told me I was going through welding school at the time, and they're like, "Hey, man, you might want to go to the VA." So I went to the VA, and then another guy was like, "Hey, man, go check with the DAV. You might have a disability." And I got rated for my hearing. My hearing is like I just got reevaluated at 50%, but right out the gate, at 75% in both ears. I was same as you guys in the Marine Corps, man. At the time, it's like, hey, I lost my earplugs. You got 9mm rounds of cigarette butts? It's like, yep. So my hearing shot.
Same.
But did all that stuff, fell into construction site safety, and I worked for a consulting company at Intel in Arizona, Chandler, Arizona, for like 3.5 years. Got picked up by Kiewit Construction, one of the biggest construction companies in the world. I worked for their Phoenix district for 3.5 years, and then went back to consulting and just had enough of it. I was going through the motions. I was making like 90 grand a year in Phoenix. I owned my house. I bought a house. I was struggling, and I had at that point I had started a motorcycle club, a riding club in Phoenix. I started with a kid. I was working at Intel the second time, and I had there's some things I'm gonna kind of skirt around. The kid that I started this with, and I would definitely drag his name through the mud if he was still alive, but he took his own life. So I'm just gonna kind of leave that alone. Caught him on stolen valor. He told me all this stuff about the club stuff, and none of it was true. So when I booted him, I'm running around with a 3-piece patch on my back, and I don't know, my ass from a hole in the ground, and it's Phoenix, Arizona. And I always said after I really got deep into the club stuff and the motorcycle community and everything, if you can last in California, Arizona, Texas, or Florida as a club or person on a motorcycle, you can make it anywhere. And the trends, I've traveled all over the country. I'm probably at this point close to 250,000 miles on a motorcycle all over the country, which with some of the people that I hang around, that isn't even very much. But the things I have learned on the road, the things I have been around on the road, but the deeper I got into the club stuff in Phoenix, the more I started to understand how things worked. And right off the bat, I had a mentality of veterans congregate towards bikes and cars for some reason. I don't know why, but they do. I love motorcycles, so that was my thing. Let's start this club. Let's do something. Let's create a safe haven for vets. We can do something like that. That was what our club was. The guy that I started it with had this Sons of Anarchy version of it that was completely not what we were about. So boot him. I'm riding down the road one day. I get pulled over by a guy. I'm like, look, man, I'm switching everything up, changing the colors, changing this. I ran everything by him. He was a member of the Leathernecks MC out in Arizona. And then we stood up, the Infidel Nation, black and green, and still had absolutely no idea what the hell I was doing. I found 3 civilians and a veteran that was riding with me when I booted that dude, and everything kind of shut down. One guy stood with me. We had like 8 or 9 guys. One guy stood with me at the end of it. Name was Joe Chino. He'd be a pretty good story for y'all. He's out of Arizona, runs 5 Brothers Printing, and does t-shirts and stuff like that. Infidel Nation had a website. I had a Fakes and Posers page on there, and a gentleman named Andy Biggio from Boston. He was a Marine. He wrote the book The Rifle recently, traveled around with World War II veterans all over the world.
Yep.
World War II veterans signed the rifle. Andy calls me out of nowhere, or hits me up on Facebook. You got a guy that's riding with your club that was called out for stolen valor. I'm like, look, man, I said there's a restraining order on me. Fought one. I had one for a year. I had a second one. I beat it in court. I was like, who are you? He said, oh, man, I apologize. I'm Andy Biggio. I run this ride out of Boston called the Boston Wounded Vet Runs. If you already know about this guy, cool, man. You should do the Boston. You should bring the Boston Wounded Vet Run to Phoenix. So Andy, Tim Chambers, saluting Marine, and then one of his recipients up there from Boston all came to Phoenix, sat down with my club, and it was the first time a club ran. They tried to do other other events outside of Boston, but it didn't work. Nobody could pull it off. So he came out, and this was the first time a club ran it, and it was the first successful ride out of Boston. It was pouring sideways rain the first day we did this ride, hailing like golf ball size hail in Arizona, monsoon. And we raised $11,000 for a kid named Mason Steele, Army veteran. Took a piece of shrapnel through the bottom of his face, blew off half of his face, so half of his face was just plastic. His dad came up to me. It was one of the most profound days I'd had on a motorcycle. And I just told a girl recently, a friend of mine, and I'm gonna see up in Sturgis. It's not about the people you publicize and you talk about. It's those stories that are in the back of your mind that come up when somebody says, "Hey, man, you remember this over here, whatever," and then that it clicks, and that's that story of what you did and whatever. But his dad came up to me later that day to my group of guys, and there was only like 7 of us at the time, and he was like, "I haven't seen my son smile because it physically hurts his face to smile, and he's done nothing today but smile." He goes, "Thank you." He goes, "That's all I needed." And from then it was on. We raised $11,000, $16,000 that year. We gave him 11, and then continually after that, they just hit their 10-year mark. We gave away 20 grand for the next 7 years to different vets. Renovated houses, just changed lives. And that's what we're about. Got me the recognition of 22 Kill. Jimmy Mack and his whole crew came out to Phoenix. Great group of people. They came out to Phoenix for 3, 4, and 5, I believe. My years 3, 4, and 5, those were the years I was there. And we were sitting in Boston and joking around at the Wounded Vet Run. We brought the whole Phoenix crew up, and we were joking around, and he goes, "Think of moving to Texas?" I was like, "For what?" Me and my dad we had a rustic industrial furniture company. I had quit working safety. I had enough of it. I worked for a company that was a small company going to be a little bit bigger of a company, and they wanted the figurehead of a safety guy, but they didn't want the safety guy. So me and the owner butted heads. I quit working for people, and I was completely on my own. Me and my dad just finished a big job. I think I made my cut of that job was $5 grand. And he's like, "What do you think of moving up here or moving out to Texas?" I was like, "I don't know, doing what?" He goes, "Well, I know of a nonprofit that needs an executive director." And that was Defenders of Freedom. So I came home, we finished that job, and I was sitting on my couch with like complete loss. Did not know what was next. I had already filed bankruptcy on my home. Wells Fargo gave me the old 1-2. VA wouldn't restructure it, so I had to file bankruptcy. I filed Chapter 13 or Chapter 11, I think that was, where they paid everything off. I kept the house, all that. Had a car I bought for $500. I had my motorcycle and my house, and no hopes of what was next. And out of just desperation, Jimmy was member of the American Infidels Federal Motorcycle Club, and here in Texas. And I randomly called him, and he was on the way across country for nationals. He goes, "Give me an hour, and you'll get a phone call." And Donna Cranston from Defenders of Freedom called me, did a phone interview right there. 2 weeks later, I flew to Texas and then got the job. 2 weeks after that, I completely moved my entire life.
Oh man.
Up and like packed up my house. My dad sold my house. My buddy that sold me the house sold it. Real estate agent. Literally packed up my entire life. Turned my passion to the Infidel Nation, and came to Texas and for a shot. I didn't know what being an executive director for a nonprofit. We were running things in a way in Phoenix that now I know is completely wrong, but we were giving money away. We were raising a lot of money. We'd raise 30, 40 grand a year and give 20 of it away, keep the rest of it and roll it. And it was a good system. Everybody loved what we were doing. We weren't really like none of us were benefiting from any of it. And it was all going to the veteran community. So I came here and it was like, whoa, we got a board meeting and we got this, I was like, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. So, and the other thing, like I built a network in Phoenix over 15 years of being there to where if we needed something, I can make a phone call and somebody's going to make 2 phone calls and I'm going to get what I need.
Right.
Out here, I didn't have that yet. It took me a long time of bouncing in bars, people that I worked with all over the place to generate this network of people. Here, I didn't have that. So ended up moving on. I lasted a year with Defenders of Freedom. They switched gears. They're absolutely awesome organization. Back when I was working for them, they did financial assistance. And then Donna moved into brain health. So they're doing, they do work with Dr. Charlene here in Texas, and they do a lot of cognitive function, transcranial magnet, the spinning chair. I don't really know what that's called, so I can't say,
Right.
but like hyperbaric, all that good stuff. And I ended up leaving there and I went over to 22 Kill. I started the wind therapy program at 22 Kill. And that's where me and my wife kind of met. We met in Boston. That last trip we went to Boston. And then when I started working for 22 Kill, we were the only 2 single people and we were trying to build a program and they made us go everywhere together. So we traveled the entire country together, me and her, rally to rally to rally to rally. And we became best friends. And Sturgis, the 22 is when I proposed to her.
Nice.
So that was pretty rad at an event that, that we shared in common. Sturgis, the first year I ever went to Sturgis, changed my life. But we went everywhere. JMP Cycle sponsored the program. They would do a big roundup campaign for us. And then COVID happened. Our focus was the second year was let's find 22 veterans, split them up between these 5 rallies, and then take all 22 of them to Sturgis that year. That would be absolutely the most epic trip ever. Well, shit at the fan. We did Daytona with our first group. We had seven veterans that came to Daytona with us. And then the day before Daytona ended, they called COVID. So we rolled right back into Dallas into lockdown.
Oh, man.
Things weren't working. Bunch of stuff happened. Both me and my wife left 22 Kill, and I immediately started Throttle Therapy, which was the concept was the exact same. Traveled around the country for 2 years with that. 6 vets, I think. We did a first year of fundraising, and then the second year we started taking people out. I think it was 6 total in 2.5 years that we took to rallies. And then me and my wife, again, I can't really talk too much about this. There's lawsuits involved and stuff like that. But me and my wife both got fired last year. It'll be 2 years December, so a year and a half ago. And I was forced back into art. Rewind back to where I said me and my dad had a rustic industrial furniture company. I started that with him when I was going to school. Started doing torn up flags that you see, the small ones and stuff. And I heated it because I was in school. I needed the color. I didn't have paint. We did a big fundraising event in Phoenix with Operation Rock the Troops. And I wanted to thank the 2 bars. One of them was very, very vibrant, and the other one was that rustic look. So my flag fit one, and it didn't fit the other one. So I went to O'Reilly's and I bought this metal cast paint and basically kind of just threw it against the wall, and it stuck. And they went crazy. I ended up selling like, I don't know. By the time I stopped making those flags, I think I was in the 200s,
Oh
something
man.
like that. And I hand cut everything. I was the only guy in the country hand cutting them with a hand plasma cutter, and that's how my business started. I brought that side of it here to Texas with me, and 22 Kill asked me, "Hey, we're doing a fundraiser. Make something that you've never made." And I thought about it, and I made a version of a folded flag that had the stars painted on it and all that stuff, and it was very, very rough. And that's transitioned to this one.
Dude, I'm gonna
So
go put
Yeah,
you
that's
full
pretty
screen.
badass.
these are 18 gauge stainless steel. You can see the thickness of the stars. These are 1/8 inch stainless steel stars. I have the pans cut for me, and then I bend them. I polish the stars. I make the frame. This is 2.5 inch by 1/8 inch steel, carbon steel frame. And then I have a laser that's really just literally sitting right next to me. I cut the backs, and the backs can be all different. I got 3 of them going out to Drifter Drag, and that's run by a
Oh,
veteran
that's
in
badass.
Sturgis. So that's the back of them, first, second, third place. So people use them as awards, gifts. They're awesome. They hang on a wall, little keyhole there. And then they came to me again, and they said, make something you've never made before. We got our gala. That's where that came from.
Mm.
That is, you can't really, it's kind of far away. So I'm going to take you guys over there.
I like it. It's huge.
Yeah.
That is a 2 foot by 3 foot. It's actual standard size, which is a little bit less than 3 foot, and how it's all made. I have a calculator, a flag calculator, but it's all 1/8 inch stainless steel, 1/8 inch stars. Everything's all drilled and tapped, bolted to the frame. 2.5 inch square tube frame, 065, so it's a little bit lighter. I miter all the corners, weld everything, and then set the flag in there. And then it's painted and clear coated with automotive quality clear coat, so it'll withstand any kind of weather and stuff like that. But
Heck yeah.
made those, and then that turned into a smaller version as well. So
Nice.
so both of these and the framed or the little folded flags, and then any kind of custom artwork somebody wants. That's what it transitioned into. In 20, I started painting bikes and helmets, and I was absolutely in love with like the chopper style of flake paint and gold leaf and pinstriping and all that stuff. So I took what I learned from all that. I have had a coach for the last 5 years. Dude's awesome. He's out of Florida. His name's Tom Whitman. Slim's auto design. I gotta look, and he's probably gonna punch me in the face if he hears me say that. Epic painter. But he's coached me over the last few years on different things that I've done and questions that I've had. But I've learned how to paint pretty well, and I put those two together. And I unfortunately I have I can take you on another little tour here. So I just finished. I don't have it in any kind of light, but I just finished this one
Oh, I like that.
for 11-7 Ranch in Colorado. It's all gold leaf, green flake. This is triple stack 1/8 inch stainless steel, hand cut letters, hand cut shamrock, and it's all welded together, shaped 2-inch square tube frame. Real nice. Thing weighs probably about 65, 70 pounds.
Wow.
Holy cow.
I just finished this Caterpillar logo. This thing's, you see that? This thing's pretty
Yeah.
cool.
That's
It,
badass.
a friend of ours works for Cat, and I looked at it as an opportunity to get my foot in the door here. So it has this is coming up to Sturgis with me as a display. People will be able to see it. And then I just do hand paint stuff.
Hell
So
yeah.
a lot of different stuff. Love painting, and fell at absolute love with painting. And that's where the two things have come together. This past year, I did 5 Mona Lisas, all custom backers. I got 3 of them coming up there with me. 2 of them are for sale. Well, she offered me something really good for that one. But I've sold most of them. I have 2 left. This next year, I'm working on a series of 7 Virgin Marys. Number 7 will be Mirror Day of the Dead. So it'll be a set, and every single one of them will have a custom made, handmade rosary. Yeah, there you go.
Man.
Those were a trip. a lot of fun pieces right there, man. That's all the way back like years ago when I started doing this type of work, and been
Yeah,
a lot of fun.
I like the grind work on that Baylor one. That's pretty cool.
That Baylor one was cool. It was the first time I did gold leaf on a project, and like the behind and the behind the tower and the 45 were all gold leaf on that one. But
Man.
yeah, everything's kind of evolved. I absolutely love my work and what I do. I work for myself. This is my studio, my house. It's a rental. This guy's gonna come back here and woo, what you guys do? But everything, and this turns into giant storage space when we're getting ready for stuff. I contribute a lot to other nonprofits now. When me and my wife got let go and had to go back to real life, I was forced into shutting down Throttle. Sucked, but still have a lot of notoriety and a lot of history in the community. Motorcycle community, I always looked at very spiritual, like somebody like a surfer in the ocean. You know,
Yeah.
like you said earlier, you get on a bike, and I talk to wives and stuff like that all over the place, and wives of veterans, and my partner would be talking to the veteran over here, and the wife would be just like all like kind of mad faced over here, and I just start a conversation, and they never understood like, oh, my husband wants to go to this and that, do this all by himself, blah blah. I'm like, look, time out. Like, do you understand what it means to get on that machine and trust the guy to your left or right with your life? Like, it's the same as being together in a barracks and building a bond with each other. Like, you have ultimate trust in somebody when you're riding with these people for miles and miles and miles on the road. And like guys I ride with, when they switch lanes, I don't even look to make sure the lane's clear. I follow them, blindly follow them, and they blindly follow me because we've been riding for so long together. You trust each other in that capacity. And the bonds that I've built with guys on the road, me and my brother Jimmy, like the stories, absolutely unbelievable. Had a wiring problem. The bike I built for my wedding had a wiring problem on it. Couldn't figure it out for my life the first time I built this thing. All of a sudden, it just shut off. Couldn't figure it out. Called this guy up. I had already spent 12 hours rewiring the front end of this motorcycle. This is during COVID.
Oh man,
12 hours rewiring the front end of the motorcycle. And I call this guy up who's a guru, and he goes, do you have a security system? I said, yeah, man. I said, he goes, did you unplug anything before you disconnect the battery? I said, I pulled the ignition. He goes, you activated your security system that hasn't been active since you bought the motorcycle. He goes, undo this, unplug this, let it sit for 24 hours. You'll fire up tomorrow morning. Like, get out of here, man. I just rewired this whole damn thing. Like, you gotta be kidding me. So next morning, sure as shit, bike fires up. Jimmy calls me. He goes, what are you doing next week? Labor Day weekend, COVID, right? I don't know. What are we doing? He goes, we called him Shaky because he has his Tourette's.
yeah,
Or I'm sorry, not Tourette's. Epilepsy. So he'll randomly have seizures. So we called him Shaky because we're Marines and we're assholes like that to each other. So he goes, the Shaky Express is leaving at 5 a.m. from the gas station. We live 30 seconds from each other. So the gas station on the corner. I was like, where are we going? He goes, Shaky Express leaving at 5 a.m. Be there or don't. 5 a.m. Friday morning, I roll up into that gas station. It was like the third or fourth gas stop east. I'm like, bro, where are we going? He goes, oh, we're going to Cincinnati for a party with another bunch of bros. I'm like, all right. So test rode the motorcycle to Ohio with one of my best friends. I got caught in a hurricane, like endless shit on the road. That's man, fun, with guys. But yeah, that pretty much landed me here. That's where I'm at, and building cool stuff and riding motorcycles.
Heck yeah, man. That's freaking awesome. I love your story. Because you've had so many different things that happen in your life. Here you are, you're living back home in Arizona. You get, hey, let's go to Texas, and then you do all these different things. Plus, the brotherhood. Because I got a bunch of friends that are in like Leathernecks MC, and then military vets MC, and that brotherhood, that's that camaraderie that we lose when we get out of the military. So we got to find it somewhere. Like for me, it was volunteering at all these different veteran nonprofits. Same with Gunny up top, all of these different veteran nonprofits and stuff. And it's about finding our niche and our purpose in life. Like your purpose in life now is creating this art, which art is a form of therapy for us as veterans. It could be music, it could be doing a podcast, it could be creating, painting, it could be metalworking, leatherworking, and creating art with that. And that's therapy. I want to get you connected with Cav Arts, which is Challenge America Vets in the Arts program. I think that would be something that would be right up your alley. And you could possibly have a platform within Cav Arts to show your work and teach other veterans how to do what you do. If that's something that you're interested in, we could talk about that offline. But I think that would be something that would be beneficial for other veterans across the country. I mean, there's over 75,000 veterans within Cav Arts, and I think that would be something that would be right up your alley. So we're going to talk offline on that. But Gunny, you got any questions for Joe at all?
No, man. So some statements. So first and foremost, maybe it'll come off the line.
Right on. When were you there? Who was what platoon were you with?
I was with Kilo Company. I was the platoon sergeant for 2nd Platoon Kilo Company. I got there 04 after I came off recruiting duty, and then I left I guess 06, early 06.
So Vorgang? Was Vorgang there?
Oh yeah, Vorgang was still there. Yeah.
Vorgang, that was the lieutenant I told to go piss off.
yeah, he was still there. He was.
What about who was I'm trying to think. I can't. Movahill.
No, he was gone.
Was he gone in
no
04?
Movahill? Yeah, no, there's no Movahill there.
Because he was. When did he was like the battalion XO maybe?
Yeah, no, I had Miller. I had Major Miller was our XO, and then we transitioned COs. So the most recent commandant, General Berger, was my CO when I rotated off.
He was in Kings Bay he was the CO in Kings Bay when I was
Yeah.
there.
So then we got oh my God, who did we get? I don't even remember. It's been so long, but yeah. So yeah, I spent year and change, and then was forced lat moved. But I went to 6th Marine Regiment. I was the ops chief for 6th Marine Regiment for a period of time after 3-8, and then went over to the Osprey. But no, you mentioned 22 kill. I mean, I had my wife go get my ring. I still have it. I don't wear it all the time. It stays in my bag though on a chain with my real wedding band. I wear one of them plastic ones now. But yeah, I still got mine. I did my 22 push-ups and, promoted them a lot early on when they were first kicking up. But I was going through a mentorship program, and there was a guy there, rode motorcycles, and he called it his 2-wheel therapy. And when he started talking about it, he goes, when I get on the bike, it's just me, the bike, the wind, my thoughts. And sometimes I'm alone with my thoughts, and they get at me. They get at me because then all of a sudden I look up, and it's just the open road, and it's the wilderness, and it's that, and everything just goes away. And he challenged every single one of us to find our 2-wheel therapy. So for me, I rotated back to my childhood and started fishing again. So that's my real therapy. Play on words, but that became my 2-wheel therapy because, my wife shot me down to Willis for getting a bike, and it was more of hey, I'm pregnant than no, you cannot have a bike. So I made the adult decision but yeah, so yeah, and that was his thing is, man, find your 2-wheel therapy. So when you started talking about throttle therapy earlier, I was like, dude, I mean, this takes me back to 2013 with that discussion, that I had with him.
We had. So it was crazy. The first year we went to Daytona with 22 kill, my bus driver, was one of my best friends. Called him Hammer. He was a short, little, fat Irish dude from Boston, another Marine, and he drove my bus first year and helped me with everything the first year, and then stayed with me for a while, and then would come down to Daytona for when I started Throttle Therapy. And he would come down every year, and he ended up passing away the first year we brought veterans to Daytona.
Mm.
So, and it poured rain the whole entire time, but the bonds that we shared with all these different people, and then the conversations that we would have. If you guys, you volunteer at different stuff, and I'm sure Gunny, all over the
Yeah.
place. You get pulled to the side, and you have conversations with people. The conversations that you have with people at a booth that are completely unprompted,
Yeah.
that catch you off guard.
Yes.
Like there are so many of them that I forgot, but there are so many of them that I remember, and it's one of those things. I still have a guy from Myrtle Beach that every single time Myrtle Beach rally, spring and fall rolls around, he'll shoot me a message on Facebook. Hey man, you coming to Myrtle Beach this year? I'd love to see you, because of the conversation we had
Yeah.
and the things that went on after that, and it's wild, man. The motorcycle community it gave me my wife. It saved my life. It got me out here to Texas when I had nothing. Like I had no idea what was next. It brought me out here. It gave me a brotherhood. It gave me some of the best friends that I still have in my life. Phoenix and here, and the people and the experiences and the stories that I can tell you about things all over the country. Either people I've met in gas stations, situations that I've made it through, and things that I've done.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, my sergeant at arms in Phoenix hated me because I used to do everything alone. So yeah, man, pretty sketchy shit in some different places all over the country. But hey, you learn. That's how you learn. I'm
Yes,
not,
sir.
we're all from the same era. I was born in
Yeah.
1979. You didn't, if you didn't know how to do something, my philosophy with all this stuff, I either am going to figure it out. If something costs $2,000 to buy, I'm going to figure it out between $0 and $2,000. I'm going to mess up a lot, but I'm going to either figure it out, or I'm going to end up paying somebody to do it somewhere in that $2,000. But 99 times out of 100, I figure out what's going on. And that's the same with all the things, you know? But
that's life in general, though. As we traverse this thing called life, we mess up, we screw up, we make mistakes, but we learn from those mistakes, and when we come out on the other end, we're better for going through those mistakes, and that's how we have to look at it, and continue that mission, whatever we're doing. And Gunny, it's about to storm like yeah,
we're gonna lose Willis because he's on dial-up.
Yeah,
that little hamster is about ready to get scared and jump off the wheel down there. And
yeah, it is. It's gonna crawl in its little cubby hole. But no, man, I Staz, man, I love everything that you got going on. The Mona Lisas are freaking phenomenal. The metal working that you do is phenomenal.
Yeah. Where are you at in Texas?
McKinney, just north of Dallas.
Yeah.
So
we get
some friends out there.
We get out that way every now and again. Mostly Houston area though.
Yeah.
But if I get down that area, I'll let you know when I'm coming to town, and we'll get together and have some dinner or something.
Yeah, that works.
Hell yeah! So I was at the Houston Rodeo not last year, but the year before, when Jelly Roll was at the Houston Rodeo. I went out to Katy, Texas, which is north of Houston, and stayed the week with Matt and Becky Johnson, who run SameFlagSameOath.com. He's also one of the co-hosts of Triple Threat Vets podcast, and I went out and met him and Ty and Scott, and we went to the rodeo and I loved it out there. Texas is awesome. I've been to Dallas several times with AT&T Veterans, which is I work for AT&T, and it's a veteran nonprofit that we have out there. It's national. So our headquarters is in Dallas, so we go out there and do our convention once a year, which COVID kind of made everything go online. Now they do it every 2 days online, and it's like, I'd rather do the in-person kind of thing. But no, I love everything that you got going on. If somebody wanted to reach out to you to order, say, a folded flag or one of the big flags behind you, or to get some custom artwork done, what's the best way for them to get a hold of you?
Best way is more than likely the website now. If you're on the Instagram, if you're on the Prospect Hill Instagram, you can shoot me a message on there. I answer everybody. We do offer financing for people that they can't afford. These big flags are $4,000. A box is 150 pounds. They're not small and they're not light, and probably one of the coolest things I make. Still, I love watching them all come together, but not everybody can just drop $4,000. So we do finance. Any veteran that comes to me, I'll knock 1,000 off either one. The small ones are $2,000, the big ones are $4,000. So 3 and 1 for any vet that comes through. We just got the website back up, promo codes, stuff like that. I still have to work on, so I could get you guys a code eventually here once we figure some stuff out when we get back. But yeah, go on the website, take a look. If you have something that you want done, shoot me an email, shoot me a message, and let's just start a conversation. That's how most of the pieces come about. So
Yeah, nice.
Yeah. So that website, for the ones that are listening to this now or later, is www.stasfab.com. So go check it out. It's an amazing website. He's still working on it, but it's got all of his artwork and stuff on there. So go check it out. But other than that, man, I want to say thank you for coming on here and hanging out with us. I know you're busy, and you got to get ready to get your ears lowered tomorrow and a day of rest before you get on the road. But thanks for coming out and hanging out with us for this hour, brother.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate you guys having me on.
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm gonna reach out to you via, well, when you get back from Sturgis, shoot me a message, say, hey, I'm back from Sturgis. I'll reach out to you and we'll talk about Cav Arts and see about how we can get you involved with Cav Arts to show metalworking, because that's something that I don't think Cav Arts has right now, and I think it would be good for the program.
If you're around either Thursday or Friday, early Thursday morning, or like Friday afternoon into evening, we're driving. Just me and my wife driving up. So I do some of my best conversating on the road.
Okay.
So shoot me a message, a text. You texted me today. So shoot me a text, and yeah, I'll let you know where we're at or whatever, and just give me a call. We'll talk.
Yeah, definitely. Because I'll shoot you their website, the Cav Arts website. You can go in there and you can register, and then you could go in and see what kind of going on there. But I definitely want to get you connected with Megan and see about getting you a platform on there for what you do. I think that'd be friggin' phenomenal. So
yeah,
we can make that happen. So all right, my friend. Well, thank you again. We're going to drop you down in the green room. We're going to wrap up the show. If you want to hang out, you hang out, and then we can chit chat at the end. If not, if you got things to do, we understand that as well. So, but thanks again, brother.
Yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon. Thank you.
Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
thanks.
All right, Gunny, let's get this switched over here. There we go. I like this view a little bit better. No, that was super cool, man. I want to thank Adam Bird from Heroes Media Group for sending us Joe. I know he sent him to Rich too as well.
Yep.
I got to catch bits and pieces of that episode, with Rich, and I knew it was going to be a great episode. I mean, it's metalworking is something that I've always, fabricating metal, welding and stuff is something I've always been interested in. Don't think I have the skill set for that, like to do it on my own, but I think I'm like Joe. If I play around with it enough, I think I can figure it out, because I did some welding in high school, but welding has changed so much over the years. But it
has, but it hasn't, man. Stick welding's still stick welding, right? The technique is still the techniques. The temperatures are still the temperatures. The metal thickness is still the metal thickness. All that's the same. MIG the same way. Now they do have some other things out there with the plasma arc and all this other stuff that's going on, but it's still the same. I did it. I did 2 years of automotive while I was in high school. I say that I did a year and a half, and half a year my automotive shop teacher, sent me over to learn how to weld. So
Yeah.
I've done the stick in MIG and plasma arc and oxyacetylene and all this other stuff and the brazing and all that. But yeah, I mean, we built a Willys Jeep and had to
Nice.
redo the body, and the guy wanted it done in 1/8" diamond plate.
Huh.
So we ended
Okay.
up having to do all of the bends, do all the welds, all the cutting, all that stuff. So that was part of one of my, projects when I was in high school. And, obviously, we had a morning crew and an afternoon crew, and we all tag teamed it. But yeah, I mean, and then the guy ran out of money because he wanted to use 1/8" diamond plate.
Yeah,
So
that's crazy.
yeah, we had to beef up the suspension and all this other stuff with it and build the floor pans and everything. So, I mean, metalworking is just one of those things, that has gone away. You used to get that metallurgy and, watching some of those guys with some of those older cars build the wings on the car or some of the fancy designs that they put on the, the older 50s and 60s models cars for that stuff, man. It's just so friggin' cool.
Even the ones that would just cut out like the old rusted spots on vehicles and then put metal back in there, once they come up with like that Bondo bull crap, and everybody started going to that Bondo crap, and it went away. Like I love watching people do custom motorcycles, fabricate a dang gas tank right there in front of you. You just fabricate one.
On the roller and the freaking the metal hammer and man, it's just so the art in it, right? And we talk about it as being a job, but man, it's an art,
it's
just
an
like
art,
you look at some of these, even HVAC stuff and some of the bends and stuff that they have to do, and it's still an art, right? And it's even making gutters and stuff, right? And a lot of those trades have gone away. And they're slowly making their climb back because they had to, right? The schools realize that not everybody's meant for a 4-year degree program, that the trade schools do pay bills. The trade schools are much needed. Who's going to work on your car? Who's going to work on your AC unit? Who's going to do your electrical work? You're not going to do it.
Right.
So
I mean, but they make cars so hard to work on now. I mean, when we were growing up, I remember climbing up in my 1978 C10 that I had and had plenty of space to sit up in the engine bay to work on engines. Nowadays, you can't do that.
Nowadays, a mouse can't fart in there.
That is true.
There's so much. There's no space, man. I mean, I've got I got a twin turbo V6 in my Tundra, and there's no room under the engine bay.
Yeah.
But my grandfather had it was a 1989 Chevy, like half ton with a 350 in it, and you open it up, and you could sit on one side, and I could sit on the other side, and we could have a conversation. Heck, we could even put our dinner plate down and have a meal because there was so much room. You can't do that anymore.
Yep. You can't do that anymore. I miss those old cars. I do, but
if we go south, right? We were in Florida. And we're driving around. I was like, ooh, my wife knows I'm not checking out a girl.
Yeah.
I'm checking out that old car. Like we'll be going up the highway. I'll be like, ooh. And she's like, she gives me one of those looks, freaking car. But if I was checking out a chick, I'd get my head caved in. You know what I mean?
So my oldest daughter and I, when all 4 of us are in my truck or my wife's car, and if I don't see it first, my oldest daughter will see it. And it'll be an old car, right? She'd be like, Daddy, check out this car coming. Or if we're, going to car shows or whatnot, it's just, I love the old classic cars, and it's just amazing.
Dude, I'm going to tell on my son real quick. So Micah is into cars like I am. Miles, my youngest, not so much. He can't tell you the difference between cars. And of course, with what Micah does now, car identification and models and makes and all that stuff, he's trying to get that down. So we were running around, or him and Micah were going somewhere one day, and he's like, Miles, what kind of car is that behind us? And he looks, he goes, horse.
Oh, that's friggin' phenomenal.
So we're going to Florida, and I don't know if we were in Florida yet or in southern Georgia, but we were close. And this beautiful newer Shelby Cobra is coming up behind me, and I was like, "Ooh, man, I'm slowing down." I don't slow down, but I was slowing down. And I was like, Miles, what kind of car's behind us? He didn't look. He goes, horse. I'm like, it ain't a friggin' horse. I mean, it is, but it's not right. It's a Mustang, but it's It's not. And he turns around and he goes, what is that? I was like, keep looking. He goes, snake? I'm like, keep looking. He goes, is that a cobra snake?
That's G.I. Joe, Dad.
I'm like, oh my gosh. I need to get this kid out and drive him around and do target identification with vehicles with him because he's like horse. I'm like, bro.
All right. So here we go. Here's what you need to do. You need to take him on a 5-mile run. 2.5 miles in, you have a box with all these different pictures of all these different cars.
We're not doing the friggin' Kim's game.
Come on. That would be fun. Do the Kim's game with him on
What
car.
did you see?
The snake, the cobra. But anyway,
horse. And now he calls the electric Mustang. He goes, ooh, electric horse. We're so off the friggin' chain right now. But yeah. Dude, but yeah, no, just what Joe's doing is amazing, and the craftsmanship, and man, it's awesome.
So, ladies, gents, if you're listening, if you're watching, www.stazfab.com. You can connect to him there or Instagram or wherever Prospect Hill Flag Company is on social medias. Go connect with them, follow them. If you want to order a flag or a custom painting, reach out to him and say, hey, this is an ideal I got, and see, and I'm sure he can figure it out. Let's see. Let's go here, Gunny. You're up.
Yep. You're not alone. You still have worth. You still have value. Don't let the dark days win. Surround yourself with people that are going to build you up and not tear you down. You do not have to be a product of the environment you grew up in. And tonight I challenge you to find your two-wheel therapy.
Hell yeah. Find your two-wheel therapy. Gunny's is fishing. Mine is outside, watching nature wake up, or in 3 years be on that throttle therapy. So once I turn 50, which works out for me because my truck will be paid off by the time I'm 50, so I can get me a motorcycle. But in the silence of your struggles, remember, though unseen, you are deeply held in the hearts of others. You are not alone. Gunny says it best, but I have to throw that in there every time. Hashtag be somebody's stranger. Look, ladies, gents, we as humans, we're more apt to talk to a complete stranger than the ones we love the most. So when you're out and about and you're passing somebody and they say, oh, I'm okay, I'm hanging in there, I'm living a dream, follow up with a question, the next hard question. How are you really doing? But be ready for that conversation. Don't just pass somebody and say, oh, how you doing? And, just keep on walking. Be genuine, but ask the next hard question. How are you really doing? Be ready for that, though, because it could be a 5-minute conversation, could be an 8-hour conversation. You might even save somebody's life without even knowing it, just because you sit there and you listen. And like Gunny always says, don't try to fix. Just sit there and listen, because sometimes we just need to get it out. So we're, whatever we're struggling with that day.
Yeah, man, it takes a village. Use your people. If you're struggling, reach out. And what's crazy is I didn't mention it last night and it slipped my mind. So I met up with this past Saturday. We had our bourbon release, and one of my former team members and his wife came over. Actually, they're both former team members, came over and they bought a couple bottles, and we went to dinner afterwards, lunch afterwards. And they're like, Sam, we've started playing phone roulette. What the hell's that? They're like, I don't know, about every 3 or 4 days, we'll open the phone, go to contacts, and just let it go, and then just hit and talk to whoever answers the other phone. He goes, if they don't answer, we go again and hit it again. He goes, we talked to a guy we've not talked to in 6 years.
Oh, man.
Let your phone be your village.
I like that.
Play a little bit phone roulette.
Let your phone be your stranger. Ooh, I like that. Yo, what's up, Ty Cobb? What's up? Yeah, so let your phone be your stranger. Let your village. Ooh, I like that. I do like that a lot, Gunny. All right. Let's see. Oh, Ty Cobb's up, still up there. Let's see. All right. We want to give a big shout out to our partners. I take that off. Sorry. Uh, Heroes Media Group, Reese Across America Radio, Military United Podcast Streams, Elite Engraving, Valor Coins and Pins with Brent Casey.
Same
Definitely
flag, same oath.
Same flag, same oath. I was getting ready to get to them here shortly. Go check out Homefront Sitrep on reacheacrossamerica.org/radio on Thursday nights, 11 p.m. Eastern. That's Thursday night, 11 p.m. Eastern. If you're a veteran podcaster and you want to get on Reese Across America Radio, reach out to me. I will get you connected with the right person. Jeff is amazing. I can get you connected with him. If you're a nonprofit and you want to have a fundraising opportunity, Reese Across America, they do their fundraising where they partner with all these veteran nonprofits year round. That you sell a reef for $17, organization gets $5 of that reef. So if you sell multiple, then you get that $5 from each one. So if you're interested, if you're a nonprofit out there, reach out to me at homefrontsitrep at gmail.com, and I will get you connected with Jeff. I'm going to be sending a bunch of them. Gunny, I want to send Blue Skies. I want to send Blue Skies to him. I want to send Warrior Honor Cruise, Kentucky Wounded Heroes, Moog Mile. I want to do Moog Mile as well for Kentucky. I want to send those. So if you're a nonprofit out there, let's get you connected with Reese Across America and become partners with them. That way, here at Homefront Sitrep, we can say, all right, we're going to support Blue Skies and Blue Skies. God dang, I can't even.
Blue Skies for the Good Guys and Gals Warrior Foundation.
There you go. So I want to support them this year. Next year, we might want to support Montana Warriors on the water. So whoever, if you're out there a nonprofit, let's get you connected with Reese Across America. I think it'd be phenomenal to have everybody. Guys, ladies, gents, go check out sameflagsameoath.com. Becky and Matt Johnson out in Texas, they do amazing work out there. Their t-shirts, their hats, they are phenomenal. I'm using Al Hero's words if he's still in here. They are phenomenal. So go check out sameflagsameoath.com. We have a shirt on there called Marine It Down. It's underneath the co-branded shirt. You order that shirt, get it in, take a picture, tag Homefront Sitrep on all social media platforms. But at the end of the year, Homefront Sitrep will get 25% of all sales. What we're going to do with that check, Gunny and I, we're going to take all these nonprofits. We're going to put them on a wheel. We're going to spin it. Whoever it lands on gets that check. We're not taking one penny of it. It goes right to a nonprofit. Same thing with Elite Engraving. Our hats that we have, not this hat. This is 06 Reveille's hat. But our hats from Elite Engraving that's got the Homefront Sitrep logo on it. We get 20% of each hat, or 20% of all sales. What we're going to do with that is whoever won the other one, we're going to take them off the wheel and spin it again. And whoever it lands on gets that check for 20%. We're not keeping any of it. Go check out homefrontsitrep.com. You see all the nonprofits that we've had, all the veteran singers, business owners, comedians, authors. They're all listed on there. I do need to update it, which I'll be working on that soon. So we're going to have that all on there. Our merch, our hat, and our shirts are on there as well. So you can go check out that. Yeah, so there you go. Thank you, Mr. Ty Cobb. Thank you very much for that.
It says Sam Flag.
Does it?
Same oath.
Oh, it does. It does. It does say Sam Flag. See, he was telling you, Gunny.
All right.
sameflagsameoath.com. And then Homefront Sitrep. And then Cav Arts. I was talking about it earlier today. If you're an artist, if you love playing guitar, metalworking, leatherworking, learning how to podcast, check out cavarts.org. It's for veterans only. If you're a female veteran, they have the Military Sister. Is it Military Sister Initiative? I think is what it's called. So you can go on there and check out that on challengeamerica.com, which is right here as well. So go check that out. But unfortunately, it is that time of night, Gunny.
Wednesday, 7 p.m. Tip of the spear.
That's 7 p.m. Eastern.
There we go. There, look at that.
There you go, Eastern.
Hey,
fix that. Thank you, Mr. Ty Cobb. But anyway, Wednesday night. So Al Hero, Ty Cobb, Tip of the Spear. Can't wait to see you guys there. It should be a really good episode. It's gonna be fun. Always a blast. Thanks, Gunny. I'll be there. Awesome. I love it. But like we always say on Homefront Sitrep, stay safe out there. We got your six.
Thanks for listening. Hope you enjoyed this show.
Suggestions and comments are always welcome.
Cannot wait to have another great show with y'all.
Don't forget you can find Homefront Sitrep on Apple, Amazon, Spotify, or wherever you get your favorite podcasts.
Stay safe out there. I got your six.